So before I tell you about my epic failure, I want to tell you that it ends well. There is a happy ending to it, and I am now growing my consulting business, working with 3 incubators in 3 different countries, one of them being right here in our backyard, Upstart from University of Pennsylvania, where we allow faculty members, professors, start companies based on their innovation, and when we look for entrepreneurs like yourself to run those companies. So if you're looking for your next gig and you're interested in new technologies and groundbreaking technologies, please come see me or my colleague Dora Mitchell, and we'll have some brochures in the back. So now that I plugged in this company, let me tell you what kind of failure I had. And at the beginning it will sound like my CV, so bear with me because it does have a moral at the end. I was fortunate enough to have an opportunity to work in Silicon Valley in the end of 80s and through the 90s. I started as an engineer and ended up being in charge of all the international partnerships for the telecom company. Then, before 2000, I had my first baby, and before I knew it, I had my second baby, and then I ended up in Philadelphia. It was the year of 2002, and I thought that the high tech was dead here, and perhaps it was. So I decided to do what lots of startup companies are doing. I decided to pivot, and pivot I did. I opened a retail store, and the import-export company, importing European linen and home accessories. I later on added my own line of ecologically clean, beautiful children's bedding. I had an e-commerce component, otherwise I wouldn't be an engineer. And I ran this company for 5 years. So at first it was exhilarating. I had to learn new language of import taxation and retail and sourcing the manufacturing partner, you name it. We hit successes right away. We were named first year in existence Best of Philadelphia. We were written about in all the local publications and also by the really important London Financial Times in their travel section. All of this was a balm to my ego, and it was, as Jamil said, it's really important to separate your emotional self from your business self. So as our loyal following customer base grew, our sales grew, but our cash flow did not. And it took me a while, it took me a couple years to realize what was happening. The countries where I was bringing my goods from and where I was manufacturing joined European Union. And as a result, their labor cost tripled over a couple years. At the same time, the transportation cost, if you remember, hit $100 a barrel. And so imports were more expensive to bring in. And then 2008 happened, and you know what happened with the economy here. So at some point, I found myself looking at bare numbers, understanding that I cannot continue this business, and I had to close it. So the lesson that I learned from here was this. Had I looked at the numbers before, the map would have been much clearer than it was in the year 2008. And now that I'm working with startup companies, what I recommend people do is look at your projections. We all know the hockey stick that goes up, and we know at which point we're supposed to reach our profits. Count back from today to that date and look at your monthly numbers, monthly. How many gadgets do you need to sell in order to get to that stick at the end of the 3 years? How many customers you need to acquire on a monthly basis? When you look at the 3 months in a row, and if you see that you did not make your numbers, that's the time when you need to either hire a consultant or look around for your fellow entrepreneurs to analyze your business, just like Jamil did. Or go to Wharton SBDC Center, find a way for an extra pair of eyes to look at your books and tell you when to plug out. All right, thanks.